Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to, I guess this is a anime review show now. Um, where I'm gonna talk about review episode 2 of Mob Psycho, Bleach, and Chainsaw Man. If you watched last episode, you might see now that I upped the production a little bit. I got a little overlay. Doesn't look that good, honestly. I made it myself in 5 minutes, but it's something. I'm gonna change the order. I'll talk about them as well. I'll go Mob Psycho, Bleach, and then into Chainsaw Man, because that's like the order they come out in, at least episodically. Does that make sense? Well, episode 3 of Mob Psycho is actually already out, which happened because I was supposed to record this yesterday, but I got tired and went to sleep, so it'd be like that. But I watched the animes yesterday, so honestly, I feel like my memory of the shits kind of got worse because I slept on it. Maybe I should have just stayed up and recorded it, but it'd be like that sometimes. So forgive me if I forget anything. I took notes, so hopefully that helps me remember, but it'd be like that. So I guess I'll start things off with Mob Psycho in episode 2. The beginning of the episode actually was a little different because it started with the first episode they did an introduction of the psychics, and then this one it was a yokai hunter, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I don't think they ever mentioned yokais before. Maybe they have, curses were actually yokais in legend or whatever, but at least the yokai hunter I don't think they've ever introduced. And I don't even remember if this was in the manga, because honestly it kind of felt a little fillery, but not in the bad way, because it's still kind of developed mob, I guess, but it was it's a direction that we kind of knew already, so that's the kind of thing. Basically the episode went, there's a culture festival going on, Mob is in charge of doing costumes, his group is kind of lazy and just let's just use a white sheet and be a ghost. But then Mob's that kind of defeats the purpose of wanting to do the most in your school year and shit, right? So he wants to do more, but Mob being Mob, he's not this most creative kind of person. But then throughout the episode he gets ideas and stuff, and then he figures something out in the end, which the narrator says is no one thought was amazing, but no one complained either. It was just, it is what it is. But then it was more the work they put into the that horror, what's it called, haunted house kind of thing, is was kind of the rewarding part of it, rather than being praised or anything. It's you put in the effort and then you're just proud of it, rather than if they just went with the white sheet thing and then slacked off the rest of the time. It's it's, there is a message there, probably. It was cool, but it also felt fillery because it's something we already know Mob is trying to achieve. Though it's still enjoyable though, because when Mob because Mob solved it on his own. He went to Reagan for help, but then Reagan did a what do you call it? It's not like he bamboozled him. He was just yo, we got a job. Let's go fucking exercise some curses. So there was that, and then he never got to the point where Mob asked Reagan oh, what should I do for the haunted house? It was more of Mob was just thinking about it on his own, and then came up with a solution. So it was cool seeing that, and then you get to see Mob smile afterwards, and it's I feel like you don't really see Mob smile as much, even though the whole anime, he does smile kind of regularly, because he's that kind of character. He just gets happy over the small things, but it feels different this time, because it feels he has a sense of self-worth and all that shit. So it's nice to see, especially if you know, watch the previous seasons and you know Mob's character, how he's kind of introvert's not the right word, like, what's the word when you're like insecure? He is kind of insecure, as you know a lot of children are. So it's cool to see him, you know, growing up basically. And then I guess the other side of the episode is Reagan, and you know, the Yoko Hana comes to him and is like, yo, can we go fucking kill some yokai, the 100 demon army or whatever and shit. And you know, Reagan he saw the money that the guy was offering and was like, hey, we gotta do this job. And it was kind of funny. At the basically the end of it, he's trying to lecture the guy on like, bro, friendships, you know, it's not about money, you know, it's deeper than that. But then he was like, I mean, you know, in the back of his head, he was like, wait a minute, I still want that money though. The million yen, that's like what, 10 grand in like, you know, dollars. That's a lot of money. So he was like, he said that message, then he tried to flip it back, where it's like, yeah, I still want that money though. But then, you know, because Mob and Serizawa are there, he has to be that mentor guy. He's like, who doesn't just talk. His actions need to speak for themselves as well. You know, he has to be, he needs to live out his sayings in front of them. You know, because that's what a mentor's supposed to do. They have to show their, you know, pupils, underlings, whatever the fuck you want to call it, students, how to go about shit. And I kind of like how it's not as you know, concrete as, you know, oh, he's the perfect role model. He struggles to be the perfect role model, but he knows when to be that person. And you know, that's always been Reagan's character, and it's always fun to see that kind of stuff. Serizawa also is going back to school as well, which is a really interesting plotline, I think, because like, I think his story was he was a shut-in because his psychic powers were too strong. So he dropped out of school, just stayed in his room the whole time. And so, you know, his progression of like, yeah, I want to go to school. It's really cool to see a lot of these characters. You know, I don't think growing up is the right word. It's more of like they're progressing. They're moving on, and you know, you're seeing like the next stage of their development. And I guess that, you know, that just makes that is what Mob Psycho really is about. You know, it's their self-improvement, self-discovery, all that kind of shit. It's really cool. And I guess like the part of this episode I kind of found lacking is the Yoko Hana, because it is just his humor just wasn't hitting for me personally. I mean, I honestly, I did laugh though at he had a 7 million yen holy sword, and then it broke as soon as he used it on one of the curses. That shit was hilarious. But you know, the bit where he's like, you know, speaking weirdly, and then, you know, and Reagan's like, yo, fucking cut the bullshit, just say what you want. It was kind of, you know, it was watchable, but you know, it wasn't the greatest kind of character. I'm not interested in seeing him more. He might pop up later, I don't know, but you know, he did feel like a filler character. That's the thing. And you know, I guess he was just there more to like introduce, you know, the Reagan kind of mentorship thingy and the fight scene in the episode, which, you know, it's Mob Psycho. The fight scene's always going to be immaculate. So, you know, I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about that shit. That shit looked so fucking good. Another cool thing in the episode was Ritsu got some screen time where he's cross-dressing as a maid at the culture festival, and then Sho pops up and is like, hey, yeah, what's up? You look good in that. And then, you know, early in the episode, Ritsu was in the student council meeting being like, yo, cross-dressing, that's just against tradition. We shouldn't allow that. because he probably knew that he was going to get forced into doing it. That's just hilarious to me. It's a cool side story. I wonder if it's, I mean, I don't think they're going to show more of him cross-dressing, but maybe show popping up is going to lead to something, and I'm interested in to seeing where that ends. And the ending of the episode, some roots break through the pathway somewhere on a street, and you're like, oh, is Dimple doing something with the holy tree, broccoli tree, or whatever the fuck it is? And so, you know, there's still a mystery looming in this season, and I'm interested to know what it is. Like, it's very obvious that like the season is still building up to something. You know, this episode, it's a cool episode, but it's light. You know, it's no climax scene yet. You know, they're building something, and you know, we have to wait to see it. Another thing I like, because for some reason I get the first episode that the ED played, I think, but then it was like Mob and Reagan talking over it, so they never showed like the animation of the ED. The ED looks immaculate. It's they use like the same kind of art style they used in the first ED, which I thought looked amazing as well. It's like the brush strokes with the animation, and you're just like, holy shit, this shit looks so good. And you know, oh man, I really, because I like the first ED more than the second ED. You know, I like all the music in Mob Psycho, but you know, the first one was just amazing, because I think it was a thing as well where like it had its own little story to it, where like Reagan was smoking, but then, you know, we learn later on that Reagan stopped smoking because Mob's around, and you're just like, nah, that shit fire as fuck. So it's cool to see it come again in this season, and you know, I'm ready to watch it more in every episode, because it's that fire. If I were to give this episode a rating, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I forget what did I give it the first episode. Maybe I give it an 8 or a 9. This episode's a 7 because, you know, it's still a good episode. It's Mob Psycho, but, and like, yeah, the action scenes were there. It looked great, but it's building up to something, and you know, we have to see where it's leading up to. So that's what I'm more interested in. So yeah, I just gotta watch the next episode, which it's already out. So I might just watch it after I fucking, oh fuck, you know, it's funny because I started this I did this whole production thing, and I was supposed to show this because you know, it's the Mob Psycho segment, but now I was talking on like the other screen the whole time. Should I restart? Nah, fuck it. You know, it is what it is. I'm not even gonna edit it. You know, I just roll with it. It is what it is. But yeah, 7 out of 10 for Mob Psycho. Next anime is Bleach. Boom. Oh my god, the production. Oh my god, this shit's crazy. But yeah, Bleach episode 2. Fuck, what was it called? It was called like Forbidden Stones or something like that. But I don't think episode titles. I don't really pay attention to episode titles that much. But this episode, holy shit! This episode 2 of Bleach was crazy. I wish I recorded this yesterday when I watched it, because I felt like I could give off a more genuine reaction, or you know, what's the word when you like not recount a recount of the thing, because like, you know, like I was going crazy after that episode, but you know, after sleeping over it, kind of cooled down a little bit. I'm not as hyped, but I'm just saying, after I finished that episode, I was going crazy. I kind of understand why there was like tweets in Japan when like they did like the early screening where they showed the first 2 episodes, and people were like giving their reactions to it on Twitter in Japan, and they were like, some people are fucking crying because they've never seen Bleach this good. And yo, man, I feel like if I watched these two episodes back to back, I also would have been crying. I think the week break between them, kind of like weakened it a little bit for me. But then that's just how anime is. It's still a fucking amazing episode. Uh, I'd start from the beginning because like the whole episode was insane. So like the beginning, obviously the Quincy King. I'm not gonna say his name because I'm not even gonna try. But the Quincy King is there, and then like it cuts to a shot where obviously last episode the guy's arm was dismembered, and then there's a pool of blood on the ground, and then it's like the Quincy King, and then pans down into the pool of blood, and you see the reflection of the king and the guy on the ground, and just like, oh my god, like it looks so good. And then like even the title of that anime, that's why I kind of remember it a little bit, is if it's Forbidden Stones or Forbidden something. It's something like that. And it says it on the arm. And you're just like, damn, that's crazy. You're just like, dude, why are they going so hard on just like a fucking, I mean, I guess it's an important scene, but it's also like, it's not even like that important of a scene. It's just kind of, you're just like, holy shit, it looks so fucking good. And then it goes straight into the opening. I think after that, opening crazy. It's one of the I'd say the song hasn't drawn me in yet, but maybe I'll enjoy it more later. It reminds me of like classic anime openings like back in the 2000s, so it gives that little nostalgia effect a little bit because it's J-rock. But Bleach openings to me have always been a little bit more catchier, so maybe I'll start enjoying it like more later on. This is my first time listening to it, so you never know, I might start enjoying it more later. But in terms of the animation of the opening, it's fucking crazy. The black and white with the pink color scheme, that shit goes so hard. It's it's ridiculous how good it looks. Even like you get to see all the captains, you get to see Rukia for a second. You're like, oh my god, all the characters are back. They're so cool. It's kind of, I find it a little weird that they showed all the Quincy's, because I felt, I mean, I guess that it is what it is, because like the manga's finished like not a decade ago, but a while ago. So maybe it's a thing where like they don't mind spoiling some shit, but like they showed all the Quincy's. They spoiled something that I'm not going to mention, but like if you read the manga, we know something, and it's crazy that they showed that. I guess like my only like thought is that they showed that previously in promotional art of the anime, so maybe it's a thing where it's like it's an open secret, everyone knows about that. But and it's also done kind of subtly as well. It's not overtly shown, but it is still kind of crazy that they showed it, in my opinion. Because like, it kind of makes me want, like, if you're a new viewer, if you didn't read the manga and you don't know any spoilers, I would recommend you not watch the opening because of that shit. But I would also want you to watch it at least once because of how fire it looks. Like fucking oh man, how am I forgetting his name? Yamamoto, fucking, you see like the fucking his Zanpakuto fire shit in black and white? It looks so good. It's ridiculous. You're just like, why does Bleach always look so good? It's actually not fair. And then even if you're not amazed by the opening, which I find hard to believe, like the next like scene when they're showing the Quincy's that attacked, or it's like some stuff happens before then, but then it shows like the aftermath of it, where they say 7 unidentified individuals came to the Serete, fucking killed Sasaki Bay, and all of Squad 1. I don't know if like that's correct, but I think they said it was all of Squad 1, like all 166 members in only 3 minutes, like 182 seconds. You're like, wait, what? And I love the way they shot it as well, because it was done on like a small CRT TV screen kind of thing, and it's like it's on an angle, and you it's like first it's them at the first squad headquarters with Yamamoto there, and then it shows like the massacred Soul Reapers of the squad, and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. But then also the way they shoot it looks really cool as well. You're just feeling so many emotions. You're like, damn, it looks so good, but it's also gruesome, and you're just like, what more do you want from Bleach, man? It looks so good. And then like that's when I think that's actually Archon is like relaying that message to everyone, because that's how Ichigo finds out in the real world, when one of the Soul Reapers is like, oh, I have a soul phone, and then like that message appears, because then afterwards you get this like like the music is great, is like amazing so far. Fuck, I forget his name. It's like Shiro but you know what, I'm gonna fucking look it up because I don't feel like butchering someone's name. Give me a second. Bleach Senen Kesen Hen. Fucking music. Sagisu Shiro. Man, this man, if he's doing like all the music in this anime, it's fucking crazy, bro. Like, I don't know if he's also like the, how do you say, like he's doing all the OSTs, but you know, if he did that fucking violin shit when it's like it's everyone like on their own, you know, fucking Chad is like running, like jogging, Orihime, Uryu and Ichigo are like in their rooms contemplating shit, and you just hear the fucking strings of like some violin shit going crazy. You're like, holy shit, why are they going so hard on such a simple scene? Yeah, but like I love it though. It's so good, because like it's only been like 4 minutes in the episode, and you're just like, this shit's amazing. Maybe 5 minutes, because right after that, you know, Ichigo's like, oh, I want to go for a patrol. I need to think about some shit. Nell falls from the sky and is like, yo, Huecamundo in trouble. We need some help. But you know, in between that as well, you cut back into the Quincy King, right? And you just get like another gruesome scene where he's popping the heads of the Arankas who are like serving him, and you just like, it's so amazing how they directed that, how they showed that, like the pop of the head, the way the blood splatters, the sound effect. You're just like, dude, this shit is crazy. This guy is scary. He's like, you're like, dude, Bleach villains are just so good, and it's crazy as well. Although like Ichigo wasn't really struggling, he didn't like. It's not like he immediately killed that Aranka guy, so it's not like he's weak or anything. Like, he's not super strong, but you know, he stood up against normal Ichigo somewhat. So there is like an aspect of like, you know, this guy just one shot, not an Ichigo equivalent, but like, you know, someone decently strong. You're just like, dude, how strong is this Quincy King? But then, and then they show you how strong he is because he's got Hallibell captured, which is kind of weird to me, because I forgot about this obviously, right? But I do remember that Hallibell scene shot, or her chained up basically in a promo vid, and I was like, damn, I've seen that before. Damn, Hallibell bad. But it's kind of sad seeing her like that. I hope she gets out, honestly, and I hope she's not being used for anything malicious, because she's hot, and that's all I need to say. This is only like halfway through the episode as well, and I'm like, I feel like I could talk about this episode forever. It's so good, because then you get the funeral scene of Sasakibe, and he's just like, that shit was touching as well. You know, he's fucking kneeling on the floor in the white background to Yamamoto. He's like, oh my god, because I've I've thought he played a bigger part in the manga. I could just be remembering wrong because I don't think we've seen his Bankai. I think we know he has a Bankai, but I don't think we've seen it. Maybe what I remember is that we find out he had a Bankai and then he just died immediately afterwards. So maybe this is like fully like spot on adapted, and I'm just remembering wrong. But it is fire how you think about it, because he is probably strong enough to be a captain. I think they've said that before, because but then, you know, he's been serving under Yamamoto for so long. He wants to be there. So like, that's crazy to think about if you think Yamamoto. Well, I'm guessing I think they said he was one of the ones that founded the 13 court guard squads. So, you know, he's been there for, you know, the hundreds or whatever years. I forget the time span of Bleach. It might be thousands. I don't know. I'm guessing hundreds. That system's been in place. And then, you know, he's just been there by his whole side. So it was really touching. And then the transition where he's like saying fire. Like and then it cuts to Yuzu. I think Yuzu's the cooking sister. Yuzu's cooking with and then like the stove turns on. Yeah. I think she's Yuzu and then the other girl's Karen. I think. I could be wrong. I could just look this up, but you know, they're minor characters. But it was cool seeing them though. And then right after that, yeah, fuck, Nell and the other guy, Peach, whatever the fuck his name is, like going over how Halle Bell got captured and shit, and like, bro, the way the Quincy King looks in that dude, I'll just fucking show it again, honestly, because like, dude, like, do you see that guy? You see how fucking menacing he looks, bro? The music that was playing in that moment as well, you're just like, that shit looked so good. It was ridiculous. I felt terrified. And this is just an anime. I don't usually have these feelings, but I felt these feelings. You're just like, holy shit, lightning was fucking striking, the army below him was marching. You're just like, dude, this shit's crazy. Oh my god, I love Bleach, if you haven't known by now. And then Kisuke shows up and he's like, hey, you guys want to go to Huecamundo? I got you. And then the mid-screen, that's only half the episode, and I felt like I was gushing over every scene. That's crazy, because even I was gushing even more in the second half, because like the second half is, you know, it starts with them walking on the light bridge thingy to Huecamundo. I forget what it's called. They gave a subtitle to it. It's like Garganta or something. But then, like, because I feel like they did that light bridge thing before when they were traveling to and from Huecamundo, but it just looks even better now because the lighting actually like goes up to them, so like they kind of have like that yellow orange hue to them. You're just like, why are they going so hard on just they're just on the way to Huecamundo, but they make it look good. It's ridiculous. And then, you know, they land in Huecamundo. You see the Quincy is sort of marching the Arancas who were captured away, and then you see the aftermath of their battle of like all the Arancas dead, and like, you know, the like holes in their body, blood everywhere. You're just like, bro, why do they make it look so good? It's I don't know. It just looks good. That's all I can say. It's like, it's, you know, like they make everything look good. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I also found it really cute how Ichigo kind of still treats Nell like a child, where he's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to see the stuff, and tries to cover her eyes. That shit was cute as fuck. I'll be honest, I don't actually remember. I don't want to say I don't remember Nell that much, but it's more of I don't remember her dynamic. Well, no, I do remember her dynamic a lot with Ichigo, but I don't know how to explain it. I don't know the aftermath that well. Because I mean, I guess they were explaining it that Harley Bell was the new leader of Hueco Mundo afterwards because Stark died, I think. So like she was like next in line. But you know, and then I guess Nell is just serving under her. But wasn't Nell like somewhat strong? Or maybe she can't be strong anymore? I don't know. I forget. I just like she's a kid, but I also know she's an adult. But I do remember like when she like went to her grown form, she still kind of acted a little childish. So yeah, I guess I just don't remember the character that much because it's been so long since I've watched Bleach. But you know, I still found her cute in the episode, so you know, it is what it is. And then you know you're introduced to the first Stern Ritter. I think they're called Stern Ritters because I think it's supposed to be like any like leader kind of character in the Quincy's are called Stern Ritters, and this was J. Qual Gay OP. He's like letter J. I'm guessing all of them are named after letters. Not named after letters, but are given a letter like A, B, C, D, E, F, and so what? And this guy, he went crazy. Even him, he was fucking menacing as fuck. He was just stabbing these Arankas like it was nothing. And like the dialogue, his voice actor is the same guy that voiced Spike in Cowboy Bebop. I've never watched that anime, but hey, who doesn't know who Spike is? And I'll be honest, I don't know who Spike is. I haven't watched the anime, but everyone knows. So I'm just saying what other people say. But you know, his voice actor was fucking amazing as well. I thought it fit him perfectly. He was over the top and shit. When the two Aizen aides, Loli and Manoli, that's their names. I looked it up. You know, I didn't remember that on the top of my head. I had to look it up and I wrote it down because, you know, I want to remember names. It'd be like that. But yeah, like they try to fight back, but they just get fucking wrecked instantly. And you know, they got the scene where he's walking, doing a little monologue and shit, and then you hear them getting beaten up by the other guards, and like you're just like, bro, like why are they making this so artsy, bro? It's like all your senses, like the visual, and then like, you know, then the audio, but then you can just like imagine them getting beaten up, and then it plays a part because then you hear someone get stabbed, and it's because someone popped up, and it's the three Beast Girls, Francesca, Cyan, and Amy Lou. And bro, the scene when they fucking like show up is crazy because I think it's Amy Lou, the one that has that circular blade chakram kind of blade sword, Zanpakuto, whatever. And then like, you know, the way it's like fucking going across the screen, cutting all the soldiers, and then like you're just like, why does it look so good? And then it goes to OP and he just grabs it with his hand. Oh my, it looks so good. And then even the battle of them, like they get a small battle scene, and like, you know, he just like knocks a guy's head off with a punch. They're fucking using blasts and shit. You're just like, dude, this looks so good. And at the same time, you know, OP is crazy because he was like dodging attacks, being like, yeah, you guys should surrender, you know, like you ain't with the smoke. And they ain't with the smoke because they got wrecked. And then that's when Ichigo arrived. And I guess it's supposed to be a thing where, Ichigo doesn't know for sure that the enemies are Quincy's, but you know, it's supposed to be obvious to us. We should know it's Quincy's, because they've showed the Quincy emblem beforehand. I don't think they ever said they were Quincy's, but we should know they're Quincy's. But it's Ichigo's first time seeing them, and I think he doesn't know. he might have a suspicion they're Quincy's, but he doesn't know for sure. And that's at the same time where Maku, the science captain, also like tells everyone that it's pretty sure they're Quincy's, but everyone should probably have that on the top of their head already. And they're like, yeah, it's Quincy's. It's the 1,000-year blood war. Fucking, what was the line they said? They said something like, the Quincy King has been sleeping for 900 years. He's something after 90 years. And then he's been resting for 9 years. Now this is the 1 year. The 1,000-year blood war. You're like, oh my god, this shit's crazy, bro. Like, the ED was fire as well. It was like showing all like the captains and like other characters on Zanpakuto's in their released form. You're like, oh my god, I could gush about this fucking anime forever. It is so good. Like, another thing I liked was, they showed the human characters in their casual outfits. They look sick as well, and they like, because Bleach always got the drip. I mean, honestly, they weren't that dripped out, but it still looked slick. Like, it looked like casual outfits in modern day, and it looks good. It's nothing amazing like drip, but it is casual outfits done well. And Bleach always delivers that. I think I saw on Twitter, like, some people noticed how Ichigo has red October sneakers in his room. So I found that hilarious. I think someone even pointed out that Ichigo has a PS5 in his room, and people are like, bro, how the fuck does he have this shit? So I love the detail that they're putting into this show. Every episode is mind-blowing to me. Like if you can't tell already, I'm giving this anime or this episode a 10 out of 10, and I have a feeling that that's not ever gonna drop. Like, this is episode 2. It's not even like the climax yet, where like shit's going down. Shit is already going down, but it's like, it's Bleach has always been full throttle, even in like the last anime. But then, like, if you see the difference between them, it's like the last anime. I say last anime, like this Bleach, a decade ago had animation. It was a lot more lighthearted isn't the right word. It was brighter. It was is kid friendly the right word? Maybe it's more kid friendly. It's there was not as much gore and blood. That's something I actually want to talk about. It if you watched my last review episode, I said, like, Chainsaw Man, I'm not really into the blood and gore and shit, but for some reason I'm loving the blood and gore in Bleach. I don't know if I'm just super biased because I love Bleach that much, but honestly, I don't care because it just looks that good. It is like the blood and gore, just, I love it. It's amazing. I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10, and you can't stop me. I love it too much. But that's enough about Bleach. I have to wait until next week to watch the next episode. I'm onto Chainsaw Man. Boom. Now, last episode, I think I gave, what did I give it? Did I write it down? Fuck, I didn't write it down, which is bad. I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10, or maybe a 7 out of 10, something like that. But I will say that my overall thought on the anime after watching episode 2 has risen. Like, episode 2 was a lot more up my alley, so to speak. It's and I even said in the first episode that maybe it's because the first episode was mainly about Denji and shit, and like you don't really get to see more of the show, that maybe that's why I felt it was lacking. Like, in this episode, I got to see more of the show, and yeah, I like it. I like what I see. Is just, it is what it is. Like, Denji is growing on me a little bit. I'm not fully in love with this character yet because, you know, he's an idiot, but he's also perverted. Like he's kind of like simpy, and I would say like I like him being an idiot, and I like him being a perverted idiot, but I'm not fully into him being a simp because I don't really know why. It just seems so pathetic, which I guess is what you're supposed to see in him. It's like oh, it's like, why is he thinking that way? Why is his motive to fucking, you know, grope some tits? You know, it's like I don't want to say disgusted is too strong a word. It's more, yeah, it's more of like I see it as pathetic. I'm like, bro, come on, man, you can do better than that. But at the same time, I'm guessing that's how you're supposed to view him. He is pathetic. I guess it's more of you know, maybe it's a thing where people relate with him. I don't know if that's supposed to be a thing. Like they're like, oh, he's I can see myself in him. I also want to grab titties and fucking, you know, I'm stupid and I like the simple things in life, you know, eating, mixing stupid foods together, taking a bath, or you know, being fed by a girl, working under a girl. It's like maybe I'm the weird one where I'm like, you know, you can do better than that. Maybe other people just like that. I'm not fully invested in it, but like I said, like I still like. I don't want to say I like his character, but there are parts of his character I still enjoy. I still like how he's kind of an idiot, stupid dude who's like a little cheeky and shit. Like I still find that hilarious. Like the way he was like, you know, he passed out from eating, after ordering food, and then, you know, after he woke up, Makima was there, and Makima was like, "Can you eat?" And he was like, "Yeah." Wait, I can't eat. So then Makima started feeding him. As I was like, this cheeky little bugger. I wish that was me. But at the same time, it's also like he is such a simp for Makima. I don't really see it. I don't know if like I don't see it. I don't know how to express my thoughts. It's more of, it's pathetic. It's pathetic to see, and like I feel like he can do better than that. But at the same time, even though I think that, I feel like that's what the anime is trying to do. It's trying to make you see him as being pathetic. But at the same time, I also think he's kind of a dick because, while like as a man, you do not kick another man in the balls. You know, like that's fucked up. I can't believe you did that. That really hurt me. That hurt me watching it. So it's like, that's crazy. I felt like I should I go scene by scene in these reviews? You know, if you're fucking watching, like tell me, like is it better to like go through the episode and give my like thoughts on like, you know, as I talk about the episode, or should I just like give my overall thoughts on the characters, the dynamics, the themes, and whatever? No, I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass, honestly. I just have like some notes that I wrote. Cause one of my things I wrote was Makima's voice actor, because granted, like this isn't a thought that sparked while watching the episode. This is more of something I saw on Twitter, where people were complaining about Makima's voice actor. I don't know if complaining is the right word. It's more of like they expected. Oh, sorry. They expected Makima to have like, you know, the dommy mummy voice, you know, where it's like, you know, do as I say, bark for me. I don't let me voice act ever. But, you know, like that kind of voice where it's like, you know, it's the older woman who is like gonna dominate you. But then what you kind of get is a more soft-hearted, it's not really soft-hearted, more like soft, caring voice, like almost like angelic even. And then that's the voice actor was in Love Live, so you know, you kind of get like a little bit of like that idol vibe as well. Where it's like it's very cute, kind of voice. But I think that's what they were trying to do, because you can very immediately tell it's she's manipulative in what she says. There's a hint of what's the word when you're like tricking someone? I already said manipulative, but like there's something underneath. There's more going on in the character, and like I like the way that the voice is portraying that. It's like she's not evil. She's talking in a cute way, but there's something more to it, and I think that's purposely done. It like a lot of people who read the manga might be like having like that dominant girl voice, boss voice in their head, but she's more calm, calculative, cute, manipulative, all that kind of shit. So there's that side to her, and it reminds me a little bit of GTO. if you've watched GTO, there I was gonna say there are two voices. There's the English voice actor and the Japanese voice actor, right? The English voice actor, Steve Bloom, has one fucking sexy ass voice. Like he gives the main character Onizuka such slickness, such charisma, that whenever he says something that's like bullshit and like problematic, you kind of roll with it, because it's like he sounds charismatic. He like you're just with it because of the way he's voiced. But if you listen to the Japanese voice actor, he sounds a lot more problematic. Like he sounds like the character. He sounds like, a perverted motherfucker who's bullshitting his way through everything. And you're just like, and so there's like a difference in that, where at least for me, I don't know if this is what everyone else thinks, but the English voice actor, I was like, this guy just like slapped some high school girls' asses and was like doing a lot of problematic things, but he sounds cool, so I'm with it. But then if you listen to the Japanese voice actor, you're like, wait, this guy's sleazy as fuck. He's problematic. You should not want to be like this person. He should honestly be like charged, like go to jail or some shit. And like, so there's like this two different portrayals of the character, and like I think both portrayals are like well done. Like they're both good, but the Japanese one is more faithful to the character, I think. And I think that's kind of what's going on here as well, where Makima's voice actor is more faithful to the character. Because I think there was a thing where the creator of Chainsaw Man is like heavily involved in this, in the anime production creation or whatever. So I'm sure is it a dude? I'm just gonna assume it's a dude. This guy is what do you call it? He knew what he wanted Makima to sound like, and this is a good choice for him. So I respect the decision. I like it. I can't wait to see more, because even though I'm praising this side, right, the Makima shit, I still don't like Makima that much. She isn't dominant mommy step on me girl yet. So maybe it's supposed to be a thing where she's not supposed to be yet. Like it's something you go into later. And maybe that's the reason why I'm not super into Denji as well, is because, he's such a simp for Makima, but I'm not a simp for Makima yet. And, there's a disconnect there. I can't relate with him. I'm like, bro, Makima is out here to fucking manipulate you, possibly endanger you, but, you're just going with it because you think she's cute. And like I said, maybe it's supposed to be a thing where, like, the anime is purposely doing this. They're making you think. They're portraying it in a way where it's like, yeah, like, this is kind of weird, a girl shouldn't really be like, be my pet, bark for me kind of thing. That's kind of abnormal. That's not the normal. but maybe it's also a thing where, like, you know, social media and shit before the anime came out brainwashed my perception of Makima and the series, where you're supposed to be like, oh my god, Makima step on me. I don't know, like, who knows, maybe more shit happens later on. I'm just giving my thoughts on it right now as someone who hasn't read the manga. Another character was introduced, Hayakawa, fucking sword guy. I like him a lot. I like him more than Denji, honestly. Like, he's cool, he has motive, or you don't know his motive, but you feel like he has motive, which is what, to me, Denji lacks. And I guess that's a cool dynamic they have between them as well, because, like, they get in a little fight, and, like, it's kind of obvious they both like Makima. You know, Denji's like, I hugged Makima that one day, or like, I want to hug her again, and then he's like, what the fuck? So it's kind of cool, the dynamic they have. They're like living together, and Hayakawa is like, bro, what the fuck is this guy? He's using all the fucking toilet paper. He's fucking making a mess when trying to make a jam sandwich. Not a sandwich, like jam on toast kind of shit. And you're just like, yeah, honestly, I don't think I could live with Denji either. He seems like a terrible person to live with. I don't know how Hayakawa deals with it. I respect him for dealing with it, because it didn't seem like he was complaining at all. Maybe it's because Makima told him to, but, you know, I feel like a common trope in this, like, you know, roommating with these two characters that don't get along together is that, you know, they spend a whole episode arguing and then wanting to, like, move out, but, you know, they somehow find common ground. But in this episode, it's like maybe like 2-3 minutes, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's just their dynamic. They live with each other, so I guess it is what it is. Another thing I didn't notice, I just found out on Twitter, was apparently there was a scene that got, I don't know if saying censored or cut is the right word. Sorry about that. I've been talking for like 50 minutes, and I don't do that often. But yeah, it was the scene where Denji is like bathing, and apparently in the manga he's like talking about how he has a union job and he has like paid sick leave or some shit like that, and how sick that is. And, you know, in the anime they didn't show that, and people are like saying like, oh, this is censored because blah 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 blah. Honestly, I don't know, and I don't really have that strong of opinion on it. I think it's interesting to know that, but it's not going to make and break the anime for me. I think it was cool learning about that was in the manga and that was cut out, but it's and then I think I heard people say, like, you know, it's important to Denji's character. I don't think it is. Maybe, I don't know. I shouldn't say that, as I haven't read the manga, but I feel like I have a better understanding of Denji's character in this episode than I did last episode. That he's just an idiot that doesn't know his reason for living, you know, his motivation for living, his motivation to work. He's just going with the flow. He's an idiot, but he also loves women, and, you know, is true to himself. He wants to grope some boobs. And, you know, yeah, there was the scene where, like, you know, he cut the guy's, like, a fiend's head off, and was like, the guy was like, well, why don't you turn to a chainsaw man? And he was like, you know, I don't want to do it. I just want to make it quick and easy for him, because I kind of felt bad. You know, they had a little spaff. But, you know, he kind of, like, let off at the end, Denji, that, like, he was kind of bullshitting because he wanted to get the porno mags. But I think there was, like, some truth in what he said when he was, you know, I guess obviously there's some truth when he said he wanted to be friends with demons if he could, because you know, Pochi, the dog chainsaw thingy that's inside of him, was his friend. So, and he's a very lonely character. So if ever there is a friendly demon, he would love to make friends. So I guess that is obviously the truth. And I think because of that, I think there is part truth in what he said about killing the fiend quickly as well. Like, he says to himself that, he didn't want blood to go on the porno mags. But I think, like, it's not like you can only have one reason. It's like, it could be both. Maybe he also felt bad for the fiend, because the fiend did seem to also have like some humanity in him and didn't want to be a fiend. So then there might be some sorry there. And then, so after that, you get to like my favorite part of the episode that you may have noticed that I haven't talked about yet. That's Power. Power had 3 minutes of screen time. And that was the best 3 minutes of this entire series so far for me. I fucking love Power. She's so cute. She's so, oh my god. Like, she's adorable. I don't know what else to say about that. Like, I love her. I'm in love with her. I would simp for Power. Power could do whatever she wants to me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say, because I feel like if I say any more, it's gonna get a little cringe. The ED, new ED was shown. This anime is gonna have like a new ED every episode, and this ED is fire. It's Zutomayo, or however you say it. And it's banging. The animation for it is sick as well, because it's like it's showing all the characters in their like home or their like place of work. Makima's at work, but everyone else is at home, I think. Or I guess Denji is on like some trash bags. But yeah, and then like it's got a cute art style to it. I like how it's like it's differently animated to the show. Yeah. I wonder if there's gonna be like a new animation every episode as well, because that'll be very interesting. But yeah, back to the song though. Like the song's banging. If I had to like complain about it at all, is that it's very J-poppy. Like it sounds. I love J-pop, right? But there is a sound that J-pop gives off, where it's like. That's the J-pop sound. That's I don't know if it's like city pop, rock pop, whatever you call it. It's like you got your guitars, your fucking bass, whatever you want to call it, and then very very catchy melodies and shit, and you're banging your head. It's good. I'm not complaining about the music at all. I'm just saying it's what you expect from J-pop, and that's not so much of a complaint to like the song as much as like like it's I don't know how I'm explaining this, because it sounds like I'm trying to like hate on the song for no reason, but it's more of maybe I'm just like not in the J-pop mood right now. It could be that. Maybe catch me on another day, maybe I'm gonna fall in love with it. I'm just saying I think it's a good song. I'm just not going to be fucking like adding it to my Spotify playlist. So there's that. So yeah, like that's kind of what I thought about the episode. I like it. I like where this is going. I'm enjoying the characters more. I'm enjoying the dynamics. I'm interested to see where this goes. I know I only talked a little bit about Power. I didn't really like express what she did or what like why she's so cute or anything like that, but I feel like I don't need to. Like if you watch this anime and then you look at Power, I think you would also fall in love with her. I feel like it's inevitable. Oh my god, she gets my heart beating. I don't know how to explain it. I'm in love. I really should stop fucking rambling. It's not good. I don't think it's entertaining either. But anyways, this episode was like a 9 out of 10. why'd I say it like that? It sounds like I'm disappointed. Like it's a 9 out of 10. Like from a 6 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. Like that's an upward trajectory. It's going up, upward trend. I like where this is going. I said my thing about Makima, but I feel like that has a good chance of improving as well. So I am looking forward to the next episode. I think Chainsaw Man's going to deliver. But at the same time, Bleach is just, it's Bleach. What can you say? Should I do like a conclusion thing again? Because I guess it's like more of like how I view them all together. Because, you know, with the ratings, Bleach is still number 1, but then number 2 is now Chainsaw Man, and then Mob Psycho is 3rd. But I feel like that's not a knock on Mob, because Mob is still good. It's just this episode wasn't the climax, and it wasn't something I haven't seen already before. I've seen Mob develop. I've seen Reagan be hilarious. I've seen the Mob Psycho storytelling where it's developing characters in a way where you're like, it's so wholesome and grounded, and you're seeing them grow, progress in their lives, and but then that's Mob Psycho. It's nothing I haven't seen already in the past 2 seasons. I don't think that's I don't want to say it's a knock on the episode. It just felt more like a filler episode, like a really good filler episode. Like it's developing the characters. There's still mystery in the background, but there's something more. It didn't advance the bigger picture yet, and then that's what I'm waiting for. And then it's Chainsaw Man. Oh fuck! I should go back to the boom. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Chainsaw Man. Power's best girl. That's all I have to say. Like, she's cute. She's funny. She's energetic. She has a lot of charisma. I like the way she laughs when she kills demons. Her power looks very interesting. Like they didn't explain it much, but they showed it, and I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. I think she's really cool. I like the design of her, like the horns, the sort of jacket over this, like the suit. I don't know how you explain that. Button up shirt with a tie, and then she has like a fucking hoodie on rather than like a blazer or something like that. And I find that very attractive. She has like fangs, not really fangs, more like spiky teeth, and I find that very attractive as well. I like her hair. It's like long and beautiful, just like she is. Yeah. And then Bleach. This episode of Bleach, like I said, like it made me feel feelings I didn't think I had anymore. Maybe it's like a nostalgia hit. Maybe I'm just overhyping it. But it's like, I haven't felt an emotive response from watching a shonen series like Bleach in so long. I don't even know if there's a shonen like Bleach. Bleach is one of a kind. It's so, like, I'm fucking looking at it, bro. This is kind of why I like this kind of layout as well. When I look to the left, it kind of looks like I'm looking at the anime. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I think I've been talking for an hour, which is weird because I felt like overall I said less in this episode compared to the last episode. Because like last episode I went over like my background on the animes as well, like what I knew heading into it. But I think it's because I talked more about like what's inside the episodes this time, which I don't know if it's good or not. I'm losing my voice by the end of it. I've been talking for over an hour straight. I don't know how the fuck other people do this shit. But yeah, maybe I'll cut back on that. Maybe just talk more about like my immediate thoughts, and the development, like the big parts of the episodes, rather than like going scene by scene. But yeah, if you're still watching, I hope you enjoy. I'll definitely be continuing the series, so check in next week. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe, like, comment down, all that shit. Yeah, see ya.